two teams. Now, game one, we know that RRQ really favors that second pick. They are on the first pick side. Matilda out of the way, with Suyo still open, Yi still open, Bruno still open, Joy still open. So many things still on the field.
Here's the thing, man, because this is, when you open up the game, the first game in the best of 5 is always about risk. And then it's all about learning as well, what your opponent's got. And we're talking about the best goal leaners here in M6, Skylar as well as Innocent. Letting go of that Bruno is going to be very risky.
Well, Coach Arcadia said that instead of banning the Bruno, he plans to work around it. We got to see it yesterday, and now we get to see it again possibly today. As you see, they are second in this pick, and I don't think they're going to ban it out. I think they're going to be willing to let that walk, and there we go. The Fanny will be taken off the board, which should be a Bruno pickup for RRQ. But are they going to fall into the hands of Coach Arcadia?
And now apparently we have a fun fact here for Skylar. Skylar dragged the team to a haunted house once, but got scared, while Enoch scared the ghost instead.
Okay.
Okay, I guess Enoch's
a scary guy,
scary,
man.
yeah?
Enoch's a scary guy. Have you seen his cho? He probably kicked the ghost in the face.
Hey, if I was a ghost, I'd be like, oh damn, I have a sprint, not a purify.
There you go.
There you go, there you go. And the Suyo gets picked up here. So SRG, we've seen this yesterday. When the Suyo and Bruno was open, they decided not to pick it up. Against RRQ here, what is the plan?
I mean, against RRQ, if I'm SRG right now, I'm definitely looking for a Joy at some point in this first phase. That's my thought, at least. Maybe not first and second, but into third. You pick up the Bruno, you pick up the Gatot, and then you maybe look for a Joy endgame. RRQ, maybe they go for the counterplay and plot in a Joy mid and say no counter for you today.
And hold on, we have a fun fact here. Innocent boasts a perfect 100% win rate with Bruno across 3 games. Will that number continue?
We'll have to see. I mean, so far the Arcadia special, right? They don't ban out the Bruno, and they know that the first team's not going to pick it up. Just off of seeing their previous matches, they know how to work around it, which guarantees them a Bruno on the second pick swing. It's pretty much genius at that. But now we're looking at RRQ Hoshi. They are going to go ahead and pick up this glue. You have the Gatot on the other side. We still have yet to really see the mid lane matchups, right?
You know, if they don't decide to go for the Joy here, and it gets banned out, I could see them still, like we've been seeing the Bane get picked up a little bit. We've been seeing some other possibilities get picked up, other, you know, fightery guys that can at least hang in the pit with Suyo. So maybe they lock in mid or something here, pick up the Eve or something like that early on.
All right, time to drop the beat of the
They keep it safe. They keep it safe.
You know one thing that's actually smart about this Granger pick, not only is it good against the Bruno, but it's also good against one of Stormy's bigger picks this M6, which is the Lu Yi, where you can open up the map so you don't have that kind of surprise. So by picking up this hero, in a way, you kind of ban out the Lu Yi, and even if the Lu Yi gets picked up, he has ways to fight against it.
Yeah, definitely can be a threat. There goes that Joy we were talking about, though. They need a little bit more to kind of slow it down in its tracks. Yes, we have the glue, but other than that, the Joy has just been such a strong pick, and just some excellent reading from SRG so far. We got to see the mid laner matchup, though. If they do try and go in for this E for RRQ, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of threats that could be a problem. First of all, the Joy getting to the back line, the AOG coming in from this Gatot as well could be a major threat.
I like the jaw headband because you want Skies to have as free of a game as possible, because we've seen junglers, amazing junglers, just get stopped by one crowd control and then that's it. That's GG. So maybe we were gonna look at a Tigreal ban as well, perhaps.
No, Tigreal ban is definitely possible. Tigreal ban, I mean, could really kind of work comfortably for either side.
SRG could pick it up.
SRG could pick it up. The Jawhead band is clutch. It's been like the one answer to the Joy. And it just adds that early game. At this point, if RRQ wants to invest in like strong early game, because I think that's the real matchup between the Suyo and the Joy. For Suyo to win, you need to get 2 or 3 kills early on, right? And just completely
RRQ VS
smother the Joy as much as possible. But SRG bans out the Tig anyways.
Do we see SRG pulling out the Vexana here? Especially with the glue being on the other side.
RRQ VS SRG, let's go!
Decision.
I wouldn't be surprised if we pick up a Faramis as well, just to answer the glue. It honestly really depends. Isn't that right, Mirko? Yeah? What? No, I don't think that pick is good. You think so? I mean, okay.
Mirko said they should pick Mia. That's what he said. Yeah.
I disagree. I disagree. Especially when you already have the Bruno.
No, mid lane Mia.
Oh, no, fam. I'm still waiting for Stormy to use this Joy in the mid lane. Right now, Slangore
You
Giants.
think they're gonna pull mid lane Joy?
If anyone can do it, Stormy can.
Stormy can?
If Stormy
RRQ
can,
VS SRG. Let's
say,
go.
Stormy's my boy. You don't debate me on this. Stormy's my boy. He can use anything mid, and it will look incredible.
Fair.
All right. Thank you.
RRQ
That
VS
goes on the desk
SRG. Let's
Well, then also, the
go.
Go for the
question is
farthest
this
instead.
Gatot going to be Rome or XP as well? I mean, technically the Hylos is still up for grabs as well, and we've seen SRG like to go for this double dive composition when it comes to Cram, when it comes to Yumes, to be able to disrupt teams and get to their backline. So we'll have to see which way that goes. Artillery being locked in though. Farza now on the board for SRG.
You know, we've seen RRQ sometimes pick up things like the Ruby could be a possibility. I'm trying to think of a nice tank for them. I mean, maybe even like a Grok or something that just gets to the Farza or something, you know?
Honestly, even just the Hylos, just opening up the pathway makes...
Yeah,
right?
Hylos is still open.
Yeah.
That's the safer, easier call.
But the Bellaric!
For the Joy, right?
Oh yeah, for the Joy, but...
Belly Boy.
Oh!
This is a throwback!
Odette!
M5 throwback! F-Cap Odette against the Joy.
The Odette is good against the Joy, I gotta say. She got shields.
The throwback.
The Kingdom stands strong with the Odette pick. One last option for SRG. Now, is this going to be a Gatot XP, or will this be a Gatot Rome?
I mean, they could take the Hylos at this point, just have a super bulky front line. But whatever they pick, either way, for those that don't know, Odette has been a clutch pocket pick against the Joy in past M series and past MPLs. It's been a hero that I didn't think we would see, but still, it's pretty hype, man. And RRQ's putting a lot on the line there. SRG, final lock-in. There goes the Edith. Nice pick-off, nice answer to the Odette. Probably even possibly a cleaner answer than the Hylos could have been. But yeah, I like it.
Looks like the Edith will be going into the Rome, and I gotta say, the first game in this match looks to be very high with this interesting picks. Thank you very much, my panelists. But now, I gotta give it over to the casters for this game.
It's the King of Kings versus the Immortal Giants. Only one of them will make it to Axiata. Mirko and Leo at your service, with you for the action in this best of 5.
Hey man, it's always great to be casting an RRQ match. It's always great to be casting an SRG match. The fact that we get to cast an RRQ SRG elimination match, I'm hyped.
The home court is anywhere when you're playing with these two icons, these two titans of industry. When you're talking MLBB esports, RRQ on their pilgrimage back to where it all began. SRG on that golden road. The journey has started already. The journey begins once more in this best of 5. Game number 1 as we head into the land of dawn.
No team has done it, Leo. No team has been able to complete the golden road. Just last year,
Gas.
ID making it to the grand finals of the M5 World Championship, almost doing it a game away, but still, it was a game too short. Now SRG, they're proven to be really good favorites, contenders here at the M6 World Championship.
Speaking of the M6 World Championship, the M6 pass is available from the 18th of November to the 29th of December. Complete all the active tasks during the event to reach level 75 for free. Get amazing rewards, including Claude's Battle Emote, the M6 Glory Avatar Border, the Baksha's Battle Emote, and a few other bits and pieces. Get them now.
Get them now, man. I mean, what level are you on?
I'm at 69.
You're at 69? That's a nice
I played a lot of games the other night because of how the meta has been evolving. And once more here on the world stage, the meta evolves once more. We're at hero number 76.
Yeah.
Hero number 76 out of 126, active in the top lane.
Yeah, it's the Odette pick. I think Trex already mentioned this earlier, but yeah, this has been an answer before. It was AP Brent that brought it up in the previous M series, but I believe it was only in the group stage. So to have the cojones to actually bring it up here in the knockout stage is really, really great. Tyrant though, going in with the stop pass to Jim, goes in as a flicker forward.
Susunya pakai ini guys ya.
All the way from the mid lane using the flicker.
Pakai
No more Vitalize.
Soyu.
Gonna be taken very
Sikat.
low.
Dikit lagi, Cok.
Going in,
Nice.
Jim claims first blood for the kingdom.
At some point, Kram just understood that he was going to go down. It's up to SRG to
this is
find
again,
place
boss.
elsewhere to make the most out of their XP laner's sacrifice. Ikram might have died for vain because there's nothing SRG are finding. RRQ Hoshin up about 600 gold in position for the first turtle.
At least they got the flickers out from Dyron, from Rins, but yeah, it does seem like, you know, it's going to be really tough for SRG to contest for this neutral objective. Sutsujin might not even use the retribution.
nice.
Yeah, just goes for the
Turtle.
Soul Sever, claims it away. Stormy tries to go for the read on Skylar. Will get caught in a Death Sonata, but yeah, not much SRG can go for. No trades available for them.
The Sangraja cooking turtles. Oh, now up by about 500. He's in trouble.
Nice,
Down.
Skylar.
With a Swan
GG,
Song,
Cok.
no flicker, no problem. Gets the immobilized Stormy. Definitely overstayed his welcome there. Yums walks up with the Earth Shattered as the electrifying beasts are going to be caught in the wrath of the Dragon.
Kasih tahu
The
Idok.
slashes of Sutsujin. The
Meledak.
energy comes in, but it's a bit too late.
The Mercenary finds one. 3-0 currently. RRQ Hoshi pushing the tempo here for the invade.
He's going to go for that little camp. Sutsujin playing it really slow. Whoa, great cancel on the feathered airstrike. Good steal back. Wait, is that still Sutsujin, I believe, yeah? Who got the green camp.
Either way, any bit you can take away from Sikais will delay SRG's comeback. 1,000 and change up right now for the King of Kings. 3 minutes in. In about a minute, the turtle will respawn, folks. Respawn in that upper quarter. The fact that it's a dead lane for both SRG and RRQ means RRQ can just repeat what they did. If anything, they now have the lead, so it should be easier for them, especially since battle spells are up. So if you're looking at an equal game, it's that 2K gold that you're really looking at.
Santai, bos.
They gotta be careful.
Jujur, hampir itu, Cok.
Mundur.
Anjir. Ih, bisa gitu, anjir. Ngeri. Ih, anjir. Ih, dikit lagi, Cok. Oke, nice. Nice, Darren.
That's Dyron. Diren, we call him. In MPL ID on the glue, so oppressive. A very different RRQ to what we saw up against Liquid 2 days ago.
Bro is sticky. Committed the flicker to be able to get more out of that engagement. And now they're approaching the 3K lead. 2.7, 2.8 now, 4 minutes in.
They want to push it even further. This is only just with the first turtle. 5 kills. Yums trying to open up right now. Gets caught with slam, pass. That's an onward. Locking him down. Also, the feather airstrike baited out. Eat up with revitalize. So walking forward. Sutsujin gets in the stun, or actually doesn't. AOG stolen away. Going on to the midst of it all. Rinse with the swan song.
He's singing. Sutsujin gets a
Nice.
turtle.
That's a soul sever as well. Dyron
Okay,
and
nice,
Sutsujin
Sutsujin.
versus 3. The turtle claimed away. Dyron wants to continue the chase, but they'll have to respect it. It becomes a 2 for 2.
Wih, ngeri, bos. Sakit banget.
Skylar winning in this trade, as expected for the Granger-Bruno matchup.
Half man, half beast, all baller. Innocent currently undefeated on this Bruno. So I guess that is SRG's one safe haven. The fact that Gold Lane isn't as bad looking as the rest of the map, SRG have won from much worse positions than this.
They have just been known to make comebacks happen. I don't know what it is with SRG. It's a very different SRG from what we saw in MSC, who were able to control the game from the start. But it's a welcome change, I would say. You know, a different pace. Usually, they find their power spike around 8-10 minutes. That's what RRQ have to look out for.
True that. In the past, ladies and gentlemen, Selangor Giants have been more comfortable in the early to mid-late game. Was no problem. But here in M6, here in the World Championship specifically, they've been more of a comeback team. I guess this is just them as champions adjusting to the current metagame, which, by the way, almost 2 weeks into the competition, we're still seeing new picks. How do you feel about this, Odette?
I mean, I love it personally.
Anjing.
And the
Apa, Cok? Ngeri, anjir, Skylar. Kena obat,
Rinz
anjing.
answer the question for you, and they're picking up the pace. The fact that bottom lane has been too quiet, RRQ just solved that issue.
Man, Innocent has really been the backbone. We saw the win rate just earlier for the Bruno, 100%. All the way from the Swiss stage to the knockouts. But it does seem like this is a different game. Skylar, 1,300 gold ahead and confident enough to go for the Sky Piercer. Sky's a lot of damage here on the Sutsujin. Oh, this might be a solo
Anjir,
kill.
kaget banget,
Skies
anjir.
gets the shutdown on
Sakit,
Sutsujin.
Joy.
That was dirty. The Mercenary did not see that coming. Sutsujin may have overestimated the amount of damage he can put on Sikai's Joy. This does help SRG in the long run, and now suddenly XP lane is looking good for red.
It's really, really good. They have the prio here. Sutsujin is down, so they can't actually go for the neutral objective. Rins flickers out. Yums actually uses the Primal Wrath.
Tuh, makanya Rins pakai ini Odet aja.
Unable to get towards the far side.
Debutnya gitu.
Trying to dismantle this formation. Flickers forward. Two Skies. Forced to use electrifying beast. Siren walking up.
Slow and steady. RRQ Hoshi continuing to control the pace. In comes the mercenary back from respawn.
Nice,
and the
Sutsujin.
Swan Song together. That's the combo to get Skies away. The mount up. Yums mounted on Rins. Can he capitalize? There's a flicker out from Yums. Dyron respects it, and both of them go their separate ways.
He disengages. RRQ Hoshi happy with the gain so far. 7 minutes in, 3K gold lead. Another conversion up top.
Look at Stormy.
Oh, he's way behind enemy lines. Does anyone know? The Skylar knows. King Skylar unaware.
Oh, flicker out to safety though.
Hampir,
Gets covered with
bos.
an airstrike, but that's it. Wings by wings, gets covered. That's a nada. No more to come. Innocent gets the turret because of the diversion from Stormy.
All right, a lot of ults spent to be able to secure that tier 1 down bottom, but it's worth it. I'll tell you now, for SRG, any part of the map that you can reclaim to give space for Innocent should be space that the half-man, half-beast can use to regain that lead. How big is it right now? He's still number 3 gold ranking, so it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's still almost 1,000 down on the Granger though, and against Skylar, I think for SRG, a lot of prio needs to be placed on getting Skylar. They burnt out the flicker. Now you have to go for the throat. You gotta get those Sky Piercer stacks away from Skylar. We know how elusive it can be, especially with RRQ always just playing for him. If this continues, that range is gonna be deadly, Leo.
Deny the Skylar stacks.
The Skylar Piercer.
It's very greedy for you to build Sky Piercer's second item. Sure, it only costs so much, but if you let him get away with it, then that's on you. We're waiting for Cramp to jump in. We're waiting for Yums to find a sneaky engage. Another week on the base, Stormy gets taken out.
That's a second stack on that Sky Piercer. Yums will be able to defend in the mid lane, and Sutsujin is just screening Skies. Everywhere he goes, Sutsujin goes the same way. Melfic Roar picked up for Mr. Sutsujin. That is his 3rd item with the Hunter Strike and the War Axe. He actually opted to go for cooldown boots, so wanting to get more of that, you know, the CC, the sustained damage out in these team fights.
I'd reckon, counterintuitive to what it looks like, this is a very utility-looking Suyo. He's very fast on the pickup. Tap, hold, tap, hold. He can get in and out, and now that's another one. Innocent down to a 3rd of his health. The ult by Stormy to push back the rest of RRQ.
Cram, gonna go for the taunt. Yums instantly with the Earth Shatter and the Onward. The Wrath of the Triad catches them down. The slashes from Sutsujin. Yums still staying alive. Skies walks up Skylar, shuts him down.
Kelar, ngeri.
1 for 2, SRG went in deep. RRQ holding their ground. It looks like it's a beeline. They're going straight for the Lord.
Uh-oh, Skylar might be going for one last shot here. Waiting for the Death Sonata stack to be up. This should be a free Lord to the kingdom. Rex Regum Kaon, game number 1 with all the neutral objectives.
Scalpel Precision by Sang Raja. Now 5,000 gold ahead. In the current metagame, there is a go-in theory. If
banget anjir Scalar, GG.
You know, as long as there's 5,000 between
Cicil aja,
your gold laners in
santai.
relative good shape, then you should be fine. But RRQ Hoshi are breaking that threshold. Right now, 10 minutes in, first Lord down. I'm guessing they can go as deep as popping those holy shields, Mirko.
I think so too. With the range that they have and the disengage. I don't even want to call it disengage. It's more of an engage to the people who engage. They don't want to disengage. They want to fight whenever someone dives to them. It's a swan song with a bit of tree, a bit of roots there, here and there.
It's lethal provocation. If you decide to fight them, they will fight you back. And now,
oh
my God!
Damn.
Innocent!
That's another from
Sakit banget anjir.
Finds
Combo
the kill.
Odet sama
That is his
Granger.
5th stack in this game. Stuck Lima! Stuck Lima, he's fully stacked, Skies. Oh, he's gonna be careful. He has to be very careful. That's another one.
Joy, kasih tahu Joy. Mampus. Dikit lagi. Granger ulti.
The Sky Prince running from the king and the mercenary.
Dikejar dong. Oke, Sutsujin. Gak bisa sih, susah aja Joy mah. Sudah dikejar, Cok. Buset, kejar terus. Kasih tahu Aji. Gelo Aji.
He's buying so much time for the Red
Gila.
Giants. He's able to escape, but
Kejar
look
terus,
what
anjir.
RRQ have been able to do to the rest of the turrets. Like you said, Leo, holy defense pop up top. I don't know how it's looking like down below, but in the mid lane, they still have that wave to control. They still have that holy defense to utilize.
Quick to dead a bull like a matador. The Sky Prince legit skywalking on these two. Got away with theft. That's got to be a good play. That's a major play for SRG. Say what you will about not having real returns on the map, but he may as well have saved that top lane inhibitor.
That's a good point. I think so. That bought so much time.
Skylar and Sutsujin. That's two major damage sources for RRQ. Those are legit their cores that he pulled away.
And the thing is, for RRQ Hoshi, the siege can only work if they have Skylar. So as long as you bring up Skylar, it's over for the siege, right? SRG can still clear out these waves. They have a Bruno. They have the Farsa. These are the two picks that we are always going to think about when we think high ground control, wave clear. They're really good at getting rid of the Lord and the mini waves. But still, though, despite the Lord not able to get any of the base turrets, they've done enough with the base turret, right? They've done enough with the Lord. Just getting the tier 2s around the map and leaving them with the base turrets means there's so much tempo on the map.
And popping the holy shields. I think that was key as well. But now that's not important. Half life left on that top lane inhibitor. Pristine mid and bot. There's one more item left in King Skylar's arsenal to build, the RGM dog.
Rose gold, dog.
Rose gold.
Picks it up just in time, man. Perfect time. A rose gold dog for Mr. Skylar. 501 SRG. What do they have to do at this point, right? Do they try to gamble it? Make a desperate play to contest for the Lord? Or do they just let RRQ take it?
Weirdly enough, SRG have to time through Rins and Edok. If they can force out a random... Oh, wait. It's a Stormy throwing it out first.
Santai. Jangan sampai yang kalah. Bunuh, cok. Oke. Bunuh. Santai. Jujur sakit banget anjir. Emang Jujur bangke. Jujur ini Seller. Bunuh. Edan. Respect. King Skylar.
Skylar, you madman! The king graces us with his presence. 6-0-1 on the Granger. A phenomenal performance, a risky one at that. Dashing forward on a Granger.
He sold his rose gold dog, turning it into a war axe. He's showing his teeth now. The claws have come out.
That's kind of local, man. Dashing in forward against a Bruno, against a Farsa. Sky's got to be careful. He's going to be chased down. He already cleared out the Lord, so he's done so much just for defending. But now,
ngejar lagi Joy nih.
Can you escape?
Here's three.
Right there, immobilization.
Nice.
Skylar gets the kill. 7-0-1.
Not again, the king says, not again. Not in my kingdom. Almost 10,000 gold between these two. The Lord taken care of about a couple of minutes before the next one spawns. I think SRG are still in it, but it's looking very dire.
Oh, Cram looking forward for the airstrike over to the wave. Skylar's gonna try to go for it. That's another. Three of them hitting on the Stormy. The fourth one with
hampir coy itu.
Produk
palanya, bos. Nice.
Used. Counting these resources.
Tower.
Two more.
Tower, cok.
From Yums, keeping himself alive. The base still standing.
Goes in for the conceal. Edok cancels it away. Two base turrets.
Santai.
I think RRQ Hoshi are happy with that siege. They seem very content.
Permanent damage dealt to the top and
menang sih.
SRG now have to control themselves from crossing the threshold of the river. Even their own jungle isn't as safe anymore. And look at this Lord position. Look where it spawned. Long lane is the lane that got penetrated by RRQ. So this is definitely a huge problem for SRG.
Holy moly, that's a 3,600 gold lead between the gold laners. Skylar's been farming kills and minions.
Innocent cannot afford to buy a Wind of Nature. So Innocent right now is struggling with economy. Despite being number 3 in the gold gains, in the gold rankings, it's not a good look. He's suffering.
Wait,
he's struggling.
Leo, is that a 4,000 goldie? 4,500 goldie between the junglers. We haven't really been talking about Sutsujin that much, but you know, I think the biggest point of criticism towards Sutsujin in the match against Vamos and TLID was the fact that his retreats just haven't been on point.
Gara-gara kalau udah jadi sakit sih.
Objectives to the team, and now it seems you know that
level 4 tuh, 12 udah jadi sih, udah sakit.
All turtles, all lords.
Buat poke-poke
cicil. If you have coin, he can do the job. And here we go.
Oke, Lord. Santai. Tahan.
Stormy preemptively uses flicker.
Edan. Ri, bos. Rin sedikit lagi, cok. Untung gak kena.
Darren coming out. Sky's in the back line. Skyler trying to cut away. That's not
Sama siapa? Oke, nice.
Skyler still with the rose gold meteor.
Mundur, Susujin, please ini mah. Immortal masih aman. Oke. Masih aman. Bejir emang di-insert, Cok. Tapi loncat kena sih.
Everything for that lord, they get it, but at
Loncat
what
kena sih,
cost?
cuman
This lord is going to be giving negative gains.
ya
That
masih
was
imbang
a
sih,
phenomenal fight by the Selangor Red Giants.
masih ditahan
This is what we were
sama
talking about,
Lord
Leo.
ya.
It came a bit later than we expected. We expected the 8 to 10 minutes to be SRG's green light. But now they are online. They have bought enough time for the Bruno, for the Farsa to be a threat. Skyler needs to be very careful. Clears out the wave, and SRG will have to be happy with just the tier 2 down below.
King of Kings lose about half of their gold lead, down to 5K between these two. And now
Anjir.
dashing
Hampir,
off,
Cok.
using that Purify. He's safe for now.
Very close. Innocent with the Purify.
Mini heart attack for all the SRG fans all around the world. They cannot afford one more death on Innocent. No, sir. That win in the Lord Pit, amazing. The art of the turn, SRG putting on a clinic, but they got to do more than that. I think one more go at that. Can they get there? One more. About a minute and change from now.
I guess we'll see from the items here. Is that a holy crystal that Stormy is building towards, right? And for the Bruno, like you said, man, no wind of nature for him. He knows that even if he builds the wind of nature, there's going to be so much power from that Sky Piercer to actually execute him. So might as well go for the Rose Gold, go for the Wind Talker, try to evade from the damage instead of tanking it up. Meanwhile, though, for Sutsujin, he's also trying to bank on the true damage. Endless battle here, already bought as well. Trying to get through some of the defenses that SRG have.
His last item could be anything between a Sea Halberd or a Malefic Roar. Some of these engages leave SRG with like a third, a fourth of their health.
Ini udah pada jadi sih, udah level 15 semua.
Queller and just end things. RRQ maintaining the lead, putting pressure on the bottom lane. This is the only lane they have yet to penetrate. Skyler building the Sea Halberd. All right, they understand that Yums and Cram have been getting away with it.
Jangan mundur. Mancing.
He used the Winter Crown earlier. I think it should be back on cooldown, right? It should be back up. But the Immortality is a long shot away from being back up. So there's no more full item slots for Sutsujin. That's why I think he's going for the Glass Cannon build.
Yep, full on damage until those active items come off of cooldown. Stormy here, preemptive Feathered Airstrike, so just clearing the perimeter. About 15 seconds until the Lord spawns upper quarter.
Santai, Lord.
This is good
Lord
for
10
SRG.
detik.
The fact that
Lord
long
10 detik.
lane is their safe lane, the lane that has a turret left, this should be a go signal for SRG to try and contest.
They need to manage the waves properly, though. Again, even though they have that close lane to them dealt with, it's closer towards the Lord. The bottom lane has actually been slow pushed by RRQ. They've set up very well into the Lord setup. 5,000 gold lead at this point, it really doesn't matter anymore. SRG have already caught up in gold, in scaling. I think they might actually be ahead.
Even
with
the 8,000, 9,000 gold lead earlier, SRG pulled the turn of a lifetime. Here's the concealed play coming in. Cram crashes through, finds Dyron.
Skies wants to go in. Whoa! Skies gonna be stunned up with the crown into the AOG. Skies with the mortality buy.
Anjir, bisa gitu, Cok.
As well. He buys it in time, pops it in time. Cram able to disengage, but meanwhile Dyron all alone against Innocent.
Deep. Dyron went deep. He was too far away from his teammates, and that's a free pick-off. 45 seconds till Dyron can get back into the action, and now SRG have the man advantage, 4v5.
40 seconds on the death timers now, 20 minutes in. Long timer, Sutsujin. I don't think you want us to go on that, Edok. The tank, a bit of damage here.
Nunggu Darren.
On the Lord, on the Sutsujin, still has the dash, goes in for the blink. 24 seconds on Dyron, SRG.
Nunggu Darren, please.
Watch it, there still is an ult on Odette. An ult on the flicker.
Bajir. Buset. Kalah loh. Kalah, Cok.
The king has fallen and now the mercenary
Buset. Anjir, segitu, Cok.
The Red Giants want to
continue
this chase of
anjir.
to take the mercenary down, and now it is just one. It is Dyron left to defend.
Apakah Darren bisa bertahan? Enggak bisa sih. Ada klip satu soalnya. Klip satu. Ulti, Darren.
Chain CC, the glue cannot tank that damage. SRG SRG.
Kacau.
Gold lead.
Kacau.
Impression of the Kings come back in game 1.
Nice try. Masih ada 2 match lagi.
Champions first on the board. 1-0. A solid start in the haiONE exhibition hall up against the Kings of Kings.
Kita nunggu match 2 ya. Kita tunggu match 2.
The power of the Malaysian crowd, the power of the Selangor Red
Kira-kira menang siapa guys? RRQ atau
Back to the drawing board,
SRG?
you have to go figure out where it all went wrong. They had an amazing start, an amazing early, mid, even late game. But what caused this comeback? We'll throw it over to our analysts, Lafell, Wheezy, and Trex to break it down.
That was definitely a game. Like, SRG has been talking about finding their identity, and this is their turnaround, man. A lot to talk about, but again, gotta give big shout-outs to my boy. Stormy with the feather S-right, finding Rins at the edge of the feather S-right, hitting 2. Rins basically gets taken down by the emblem, and then after that, SRG is like, it's go time. Once the Odette is not there, Sky says freedom.
This is typical fashion for SRG so far. This is a kind of repeat from their last series that we've seen, right? They're playing from behind, and a slight mistake, they're able to turn everything back around. You got to be on your P's, you got to be on your Q's when you're going up against them. Any moment of weakness, and they're going to push through and take that game from you, and that's what we see for game number 1 is the Kingdom fell for that one. So now they are now leading the way in this series.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an amazing series. Overall, it took a little bit for SRG to get into shape, but there's a couple points I think to make early on in the game. Even when Gais was a few levels under Sutsujin, he was able to get the kill, and I think that kind of continues to write the story as SRG gets stronger and stronger with these scaling heroes. Once more and more items start getting locked in, I mean, it was just too much damage from all around the board between Innocent. Even if you get Innocent, you got Stormy who locks in Holy Crystal at the end. You have Gais who's completely in there. I mean, by the end of there, it was just too much. And even some of those, I mean, it feels like even at the end of the game, SRG starts to play better. We saw Gais almost completely mess up, and Cram comes in with the AOG to save him, and it felt like it was part of the plan.
Yeah, can we talk about that? What is that synergy between Skies and Cram? Because they understood Skylar's a problem. Rins is a problem. Skies, can you do something about that? And he's like, I can, but I need help though. And Cram came in with that help.
Yeah, just getting the job done. I mean, even Skylar in the beginning, he picked up that Sky Piercer, and it was such a threat. Picking up kills left and right. There was a moment where Mirko even said the King was gracing everybody with his presence, but then you got to see SRG. They found a way to get back to him, get to the back line. The audience, let's talk about that for a second. They were going insane.
I mean, how could you not? How could
no
you
matter
not?
what side you're on.
No matter what side you're on, you know? Because, like, RRQ, like, it looked 5,000 gold lead, full items on the jungle as well as the goal laner. Look at the damage Skylar dealt, 86,000 damage. Look at Innocent, man, 93,000. Like, he just needed space. And I gotta tell you, Sakai's and Cram really gave that space.
You know, and there's something important to note as well. We heard Mirko and Leo talking about how Skylar was also building a lot of damage. And we saw those emblems a minute ago. And again, Skylar goes for the full damage emblem instead of picking up tenacity like Innocent did. Like we see a lot of that continues to be the toss-up. And I think in endgame, that's when you get so much, you get a lot of profit out of that, right? Because once you get below that 50%, you're getting a little bit extra defense, and you can last just a little bit longer in those fights. Maybe when Gais jumps on you in the end game, you don't immediately go down. And some of those risks, you know, in the end, the risk capitalized over the reward for Skylar.
Speaking of risk, speaking of reward, as we take a look at the gold graph, I mean,
look at that turn.
For a while, it was RRQ's game. They took 3 turtles, 3 lords, and still that one slight mistake and a turnaround from SRG.
Now, I want to pull all your attention at the 1708 mark. If you guys see RRQ there, that's where they got the Lord. And this is the fight where Stormy was able to find Rins, and then after that, Sakai's was able to go to the back line. Now, we can see how big the shift was, but pay attention as well. Before 1708, that was a bit of a shift as well. The highest was 10K difference. And then Selangor and Giant start to slowly get the advantage. And I feel like the biggest thing is access to the back line, because if you look at the the core understanding of SRG's draft, it's all about dealing with Skylar, right? As long as you get the main damage dealer, then you're all good. Where you have the Gatakacha as well as the Joy. Edith covers the backline. Farsa can engage as well from afar. Innocent just cleans house. So honestly, I gotta give big props to Cram and Skies. They did their job well.
Yeah, and that helps out Innocent, right? Because for a while, he was behind in the economy compared to Skylar, right? I remember Leo at a point in time, he said he couldn't even afford to get the Wind of Nature. He was so far behind Skylar, but with the help of Sakai's, with the help of Cram, with the help of the entire team, he was able to start slowly getting to those core items, and once that Bruno gets online, it's a very hard machine to stop.
And now we gotta look at our MVP. And I gotta say, people have been criticizing this man's Joy, but today here's the MVP. Sakai's on that Joe, dropping the beat of the Flash.
Dropping the beat of the Flash, and very well done. I mean, just knew his objective, knew his job, and was able to split up the enemy team. And I love what you said, Lavelle. You know, having to take out Skylar, having to take out Rins was Sekai's job, but once he does that, also we saw a few times Dyron gets separated, the rest of the team gets separated, and that was SRG's win con, right? As long as we can get them a little bit apart, then Innocent and rest of team can handle this, and Cram and Sekai's can get to the back line, and SRG wins out when the fights are separated, right? SRG has enough damage spread out among all 5 of their members that they can disband their members a bit, put them across the map, and win as long as RRQ's on different parts.
And he had a lot of challenges to go up against. First of all, the glue on the table. We saw that stun come in. It was about, what, 1.5 seconds where he just couldn't move at all.
That was the Odette,
That was the
Odette as well, And then on top of that, there was a moment where RRQ host was trying to take the inhibitor turret, and he runs all the way to the opposing side of the map and forces the team to chase him on that engagement to buy SRG the time it needed for the defense.
Yeah, something to really point out here is, I like what you said, he bought time as well. So what we see here is honestly Skies being the MVP, not because of the KDA. He got the kills, he got the assists, sure. But how he played the macro game as well, pulling away key targets away from Slangware Giants, that's key.
I love this play right here. Now look at those levels, 3 levels ahead. If this doesn't prove that Joy is the better counter to Suyo, I think that just nails the coffin in. And I'm sure at some point we're also going to see what you said, the running away. Whenever Lord's coming, he's completely pulling everyone away. At one point, I think it was 2nd or 3rd Lord, he soloed Lord top lane and stopped it from even getting to base. I mean, overall, Sekai's, maybe his KDA isn't perfect this game, but everything else was.
I mean, he was willing to sacrifice some HP. And Slangware Giants, they have really changed the way that they play the game. Where before this, it's methodical, it's calculated. Now I would say Slangware Giants are more chaotic because so far we've seen a lot of wins is by separating the team fighters. Like, hey, you know what? A lot of teams on M6, they're very good at team fighting. How about we make it a 1v1 5 times?
It's becoming an SRG special, right? I mean, every time Cram and Yumes finds a way to get to the back line, it's almost 100% guaranteed win for SRG on the turnaround.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an interesting way that they've been approaching the games, and I think a lot of people have been saying it's more of them getting lucky or they've been throwing the beginning of the game, but I still have in my gut, I still feel like SRG's okay with losing that early game. And we've seen a lot of champions in the past be okay with losing early game. This snapback was maybe a little bit risky, letting it get to 7, 8, or 9K, but a lot of teams are okay with letting that gold lead escape until the 1st or 2nd Lord, you know? And then 1st Lord, 8 to 10 minutes, that rubber band happens, and now it's okay, we're back in control. So SRG's been playing for those mid to late game power spikes, and there's nothing wrong with that. So many amazing teams have played that same exact way.
Speaking of which, do you know SRG? They meet Ferry. Gaming meets luxury. Luxury meets gaming. Ferry's first. M662 watches, a special jewelry collection for Jushin and Mia, and brand new champion rings and medals. Which honestly, the medals look pretty good, by the way. I'm trying to do the Japanese style. M6 Suisu watches. It's on the ad, all right? It's on the ad. I got the watch. I got the ring. I got the bling.
You just need a pendant now, right? Did you make your mythic? Right?
I am mythic.
Okay, so you gotta get your pendant. If you guys hit mythic, they have mythic pendants available as well.
And, oh no, is it not here? Did they not give it? Oh well, whatever. Fuel your game with Hello Panda Crunchy Biscuits filled with creamy chocolate or strawberry, the ultimate snack to keep you energized. Level up your day and visit Hello Panda's website for more. Heck, you know what? We need to hit that website up because we need more of that.
I definitely need more.
I think Trex ate the Hello Panda.
No, they
before
haven't
the
showed up
segment.
yet. I will eat them once they get here. But,
No, you know what? I feel like it's partly our fault. Maybe we took a little bit more than we were supposed to.
You brought the bowl out the other day. Did you bring a bowl again?
Something told me that that I was not gonna have to use it, so I didn't know. Talk about the game? Yes, let's talk about the game. Speaking of magicchess, Go, the game, a multiplayer strategy game now soft launch in Malaysia and Singapore. Pre-registration is now underway for other APAC regions. And I gotta say, magicchess Go, honestly, I've been playing it in just one day. I went from Warrior, now I'm Grandmaster. I know on the BM desk, Adin has been grinding as well. Personally, for me, I love the Northern Vale one. It's like Carrie's passive, and it's incredible. So, shout outs magicchess Go. I personally am gonna invest more time onto that.
You know
It's
what?
gonna be an esport, trust me.
And there's no need for fast fingers. So strategy and luck are your keys to victory. Team up with your
Selamat
favorite
dah.
heroes and also strategize with your
Selamat
friends
jir.
wherever and whenever. Put your strategies to the test and outsmart your opponents and claim the ultimate victory.
that was clean.
I've been outsmarting quite a lot of people.
Have you?
I have a over 94% top 4 rate.
Ooh.
Oh.
So
How many
that's not
games
bad.
have you played? 3.
19 or 20 or something like that.
Nice, nice.
Oh,
nice,
which,
nice.
by the way, can you imagine? I played like 12, 13 games, and it barely hit my battery. That's how optimized the game is.
Wow.
On a single,
What phone were you playing on?
on the ROG, on a single charge, I can play like 12, 13 games, and I was like, wait, I still have more. I still don't have the charge. I'm like, oh. It could be the RG, it could be the well-optimized game, but either way, I'm a happy man. Speaking of a happy man, I was happy that SRG won, but that was close. Now, Trex, can we imagine that is SRG when they're losing by 5,000 gold?
Imagine if they're only losing by 2.
Imagine
Or-
if they win by 5,000
Yeah,
gold.
or if they're up
Yeah.
by 5,000 gold.
Oh, wait, I have imagined that. That was during the Swiss stage, and then they got comebacked. Right.
So they actually have to be
They
behind.
have to
yeah,
be
it's all
behind.
part of the plan.
Because when they're ahead, bad things happen.
You know what else is cool?
What's
Innocence Bruno. Still 100%.
Still 100%.
Now out of 4
true.
games.
Now, we were able to talk to Keskew, the coach coming in from RRQ. Let's see what he thinks about Selangor Red Giants coming into this matchup where the Giants search for identity. This is Keskew's quote. Every team has its challenges, and SRG is still finding their identity. They're struggling with this patch because they don't have any particular strong heroes, which makes them easier to draft against. However, it all comes down to their preparation, and we're looking forward to playing against the hometown heroes. And weird to say, maybe Chaos is their identity now, which is so different from MSC.
Yeah, RRQ. They got to find some answers, right? I mean, we are now at the peak before we go to Axiata. One more seat and a hurdle they have to jump through. Playing from behind now with SRG in the lead. I know you're excited for Malaysia as well. There's a lot of excitement for both teams out in the crowd behind us. Felt like an earthquake for a moment while the teams were fighting it out and the turnaround happened from SRG.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I think, like, I like how we keep saying SRG's chaos, but also there's still some, I'm a strong believer that there's some methodicalness to what they're doing, you know?
Controlled chaos.
Like maybe it got a little out of hand there with the gold lead getting to 8 to 9K, but their composition, like, I think they knew their win con, it wasn't going to be early game, right? They knew laning phase is not where we're going to win this. But as long as we hang on, it is a guaranteed path to victory. And though it is chaotic in like the team fights, I think their approach to the game is still very smart and genius.
Let's talk about Coach Keskew here, because let's try to get into the mind of a coach. What do you tell your team? Like, what really went wrong? What do you have to change for essentially what SRG did will not happen again?
Well, I would say don't let the rubber band effect bounce back on you, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that went right for RRQ Hoshi. Skylar was on fire I mean, he picked up that Sky Piercer. He was getting everything done, but it's those key moments where you see Sakai's sneak through and create a window of opportunity by distracting several members.
And now, folks, on your screen is the average gold per minute ranking. Aaron Shiki is number 1 with 835 gold per minute, but not far behind. Innocent is actually number 2 with 831, and Kelra number 3 with 814.
That's insane if you think about it, because Innocent, so many games, they're behind
they're
when these games start, and Innocent is still the number 2 average GPM. His team is losing by 5,000 gold, but he's the number 2 average GPM.
How?
Put that into your brain for a second. How does that even work?
Does he spawn more minions?
I don't know. Math's hard, man.
Anyways, looking at the average KDA here, Skylar is winning out by 0.8. But looking at the gold per minute, Innocent finds ways just to get the farm, plus 36.4. Average kills, Skylar is a little bit higher, but gotta say, SRG games doesn't really go like bloodthirsty kind of style. Not always going for the kills, sometimes looking for those objectives while the fight is going on.
Yeah, I feel like the economy and the gold is not really ever a worry for SRG, right? They just wait for the late game. If all else fails, just stall to the late, find a distraction, and then bounce back. Speaking of bouncing back into the draft we go for game number 2.
Ready, bro.
RRQ Hoshi and SRG, who will be able to move forward. Will it be RRQ Hoshi trying to even out the series, or will it be 2-0 from SRG?
Okay, so RQ this time once again takes first pick, which is pretty still out of comfort zone for them usually. It's been their losing side most of the time, but I think the big switch up here is if SRG leaves the Bruno open, they take the Bruno.
Yeah, I think that will be the case.
They definitely take the Bruno this time, and then if
Udah menang,
SRG
Cok.
maybe trying to bait SRG to pick up the
Udah
CEO so
menang,
they can
Cok.
get the joy, but I think
RRQ.
first picking CEO is no longer meta in draft. Like, I don't think it loses a lot. The Blue Yo's losing a lot right now.
No, I feel like it's because of the existence of the Joy. That's why people are really considering it. Like, again, CEO is an amazing hero, but if the Joy is open, like if you ban Joy,
then you're good.
That's good. That is good. Exactly.
It's going to be interesting, though, because if RRQ takes the Bruno, that's a gamble SRG is willing to take. I mean, that's why they leave it open with being on second pick. Coach Arcadia himself said that he had no real worry about it just due to proper planning. So RRQ Hoshi will be taking up that Bruno this time around. Will that make a difference?
That's the proper planning right there. It's like, we're going to pick it. That's the proper planning.
So they should be the Joy, or they might have something else.
I think you third pick jungle, because if you pick Joy, RQ could still go the Fred, right? They can still pick up the Fred to deal with the Joy. So now our SRG's in this place where I don't think we want to show our jungle pick right away.
I don't know. I feel Joy Louis for some reason.
But Louis?
I say Joy still because even the last game there was multiple counters to the Joy and he was still able to get the job done. So I feel like that's a gamble. I feel like with SRG they're not really too worried about the hard counters as often, and they just want to find a way around it. So I do think maybe the Joy blocks. The Lu Yi would be
got that first.
very interesting. The
Suyo.
Wow. After we talked about how good the Joy against the Suyo is this a bait?
I was saying RQ's trying to bait them into Suyo maybe by picking the Bruno first, but I'm still a little surprised by it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Suyo can be good as long as you're willing to finish. You have to get that lead immediately, which hasn't been SRG's shining zone, you know, and RQ immediately responds, takes the Joy as the counter, gets the glue as well. So right now RQ's looking clean.
Looking at draft here, looks like they're switching sides, where RQ this time they have the Joy and they have the Bruno. What, after this RQ will pick up the Farsa?
The Farsa.
And then Stormy is the one picking up the Odette?
Farsa atau Odette?
This is definitely a swing that I didn't expect, right? RRQ Hoshi now with this Joy
Valentina gak pernah
definitely
di-pick
can
ya?
make that lean in their favor.
Oh, bagus loh
We don't
Valentina.
really see anything to really stop it in his track so far. I mean, maybe the Bellerin comes out. Maybe the Tig comes out. Definitely some viable options. Maybe even locking in that Granger here could be a wise decision because they need an answer for this Bruno.
We'll find a way.
I think we're going to end up seeing and since he's not going to pick his marksman here, big chance RQ bans out the Granger. Do we think SRG goes for the innocent Moskov pick here? towards the end. It could be a possibility depending on
It
what
makes
marksman
sense.
Granger
can
di
just
ban.
to some comfortability, you know?
Enggak sih, di ban.
Honestly, it makes sense. Once the joy comes in, at least you can peel for yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they haven't
Tapi nggak
answered to
di-pitch
the
sih.
glue, picking up this Vexana, so they're not
Picknya Bruno
too
sih ya,
worried about
Scalar.
that. But yeah, the Moskov can definitely be a wise play. The
Moskov,
Beatrix still up for grabs as well. Maybe limiting some of the gold lane potential, maybe on the board for RRQ Hoshi to deny Innocent getting comfortable. I mean, we've been seeing Skylar scale better in the early phase, right? He's just been having a little bit of an easier time, whereas that rubber band effect kind of works more for Innocent as the later the game goes. Cram and Yums are able to find the opportunity. So maybe
Vexana,
even
bos.
giving something to Cram to create that double
SRG
composition
Vexana,
that we're
bos.
used to seeing to capitalize on the
Di
mistakes.
RRQ
Could be what they're looking for the
apa
second half of
belum
the draft.
kelihatan ya
I think
pick
Cram still
apanya.
gets this Gatot. I think in the end, Gatot goes over to Cram here, which gives them that dive that you want, and it worked very well last game. If RQ doesn't ban it, there's still a chip open, which is kind of, you know, a backhand strategy, something they could fall into. The Lu Yi's still open, and then marksman, and that's where RQ's at right now. It's like, do we go full into marksman? I think they definitely probably get rid of the Granger. They take out the chip option, so
Chip
that's
di-ban.
off the map. Maybe they just get rid of any map
di-ban,
display
Cok.
miss options and just go into the Lu Yi as well.
I think the Louis would be a good pickup here, right? I mean, definitely could affect this Gatot, the Suyo, and even the Vexana. I wonder if SRG will be able to sniff that one out. We still got to see what the gold lane matchup is going to be as well up against this Bruno. Now, are we seeing the Hylos still up for grabs? Could be something that SRG goes in for, especially on this XP lane matchup or Rome matchup that we're going to be seeing moving forward. Maybe even the Belleric could be coming out here.
Belleric
No, it's definitely a
boleh.
possibility. It's definitely a
Hylos
possibility.
boleh.
SRG's going to get first pick here, so I don't think they slot in gold lane right away. I think most likely they go Rome and then into gold lane as their final pick, just to get as maximum possibility
Padahal
counter,
Hylos
know
bagus loh.
exactly what they're going to be up
Hylos
against.
apa?
RQ on their last ban.
Hylos Rom. Boleh sih.
They might leave the Granger. It's definitely a possibility.
Belleric boleh. Masih bisa sih, masih ada
Where
tempat.
do
If they ban the
Masih ada
chip,
banyak
they
pilihan
banned
sebenarnya.
the Guinevere before. The TIG is open as well. I wouldn't say that it was that big of a problem in the previous match. It looks like they're batting out the Belleric. They're more worried about the Belleric, the matchup against the Joy. Now, SRG, they can pick up the Granger now because here's the thing. If they don't pick up the Granger now, that's a bit sus. That makes it sound like they have a different
Kayaknya
answer
SRG
for this Bruno.
pick
Perhaps
Granger ya?
they figured out.
Kayaknya
Because
ya.
here's the thing. SRG,
Moskov
now they
bos.
pick out the Moscow because here's the thing. SRG is the one that said Granger is the counter towards Bruno.
Yeah.
But our problem is we can't close games with it. So
You know what you can close games with?
a
Innocence Moscow.
Oh yeah, that's the maniac there. That's the half man, half beast.
Now the last question is the final pickup for SRG with the Gatot. Do they go something like the Hylos to lock this in? For the side of RRQ though, I mean with the Granger
Sebenarnya opa.
or with the Bruno and the Moskov matchups, definitely
Wow,
gonna be interesting. You're
tuh,
gonna have to watch out for the split push. That
Gila,
Spirit
gila,
Destruction
gila.
puts
Wow,
a lot of
wow, wow.
mobility into the hands of
Gila,
SRG, but they have some answers to get to that back line, right? You still
Wow,
have
wow.
this Joy, and there isn't the Belleric to really stop it in its
Kadita?
tracks. Kadita though.
Kadita? Okay, the Khalid makes sense. I think
Kadita
Khalid is a
boleh.
good pick against SRG, but the Kadita though.
RQ picked this once before in Wildcard. I mean, in Swiss stage. I can't remember whether it won or lost, but it has been picked up one time by RQ. It might have been picked up by other teams, but I know RQ has. This has been a fallback. It is not Rome Kadita. It is mid Kadita.
Unless they want to pull a Warlord and mid Khalid.
Mid Khalid and Rome Kadita. I mean,
Khalid.
it's possible, right?
It's, I mean, you know.
Either one.
Hey, either one, either
Either
one.
one
Dia
doesn't
harusnya menang
belong
sih,
there.
ini
As
harusnya
long
menang
as
sih.
Khalid is somewhere around mid, the
Kalau mau
damage is going to be good
Khalid
enough to
blue,
stop the
udah.
movements from Selangor and Giant. So honestly, I'm liking the draft coming in
Opek
from RRQ.
kayaknya ya.
It's funny because Renz is just digging deep in his bag right now with
SRG
these
pick
picks,
apa lagi
right? You
nih?
see the Odette, and now you get to see a potential Kadita in the mix, and there goes the
Gwyn,
Guinevere
bos.
to wrap things up for SRG. How we feeling about it?
First of all, it is Kadita mid.
Gwynnya.
So let's not get too excited.
Yeah, it's Kadita.
It's
Gwyn
Kadita
mid.
mid.
Who's the Gwen gonna catch,
Gwyn
though?
mid,
That's
guess.
a lot of hard
Enggak,
targets
bukan,
to
bukan.
find.
Hey, with the right
Gwyn
mindset, you can
FP.
catch all of them. Thank you very much to our panelists and
Gwyn XP bos.
Marco, Leo, you guys ready for this one?
Semoga menang, guys.
We're more than ready. We're looking forward to that Kadita coming through. 60% of the time, it works every time.
50% win rate is the win rate we have right now.
Close.
2 times it was picked up already in the Swiss stage, I believe, yeah. No knockout stage appearance, so this is the debut of Mrs. Kadina on the world stage knockouts.
That is the Indonesian siren conquering the seas against SRG, who came back in game 1 and now are once again deploying
Gatot SP.
Winnebeer, which came at the bane of NIP Flash last night. Here we go, game number 2, into the battlefield we go.
Berarti gue-nya apa?
And I gotta tell you
Gue-nya
now,
support.
when RRQ are up against the ropes like this, when they lose a game like that, something tells
Gue
me
support
it's a download situation. You remember TLID?
Yeah, I remember Twisted Minds as well in the Swiss stage. So yeah, RRQ definitely have a pattern. Every single time they're down 1 game, it seems like, you know, they take in all the mistakes they made in game 1. But I would say the same thing about SRG. Even when they win, they learn so much from their opponents. And I think they have also downloaded a lot from RRQ, especially in the early game. Petrify, but the ocean, Rin's trying to go for the kill. Ooh, almost kill pressure. Oh, the fadeaway. Just 1 splash of water. Yums took the orange buff. Oh, that is unfortunate.
Unfortunate, but just the same, you have blamed Yums. He did his best, he tried.
It's either survive, orange buff, or die, no orange buff.
It's bad for SRG.
It's bad.
Either way, which puts RRQ Hoshi now up by about 500 gold. Turtle spawning in the lower quarter of the map, so that is where these 2 teams are looking to post up about 30 seconds from now.
That's a Master Assassin. Oh, spatial migration over to Dyron. It's a crab. That's a stun too. Severed soul. The curse blast. Now electrified.
Joy. Double kill dong.
Oh, what is that damage?
Ih, padahal bisa itu.
Let him go.
Kabur ya.
Real quick,
Kena itu
a
tadi
look
sama
at the
Kadita.
emblems there explains why Yums got away with it. But just the same, that concussive blast is also what took away the orange from Gais. Now top lane 1v1, Innocent versus Skylar.
Whoa, Skylar wants to go in. Actually ends up evening the trade out. Spatial migration cancelled by the Petrify.
Nice.
Yums taken out here by
Nge-resuscitin. Nice, double kill, boss.
Electrifying beats the dance of Sutsujin as he claims that kill, and it's
si ganteng ini, bos.
for the first turtle.
Clean for the King of Kings. This will propel them forward up by about 1,000 and change now. 2 minutes in. Sutsujin clean with a take, and maybe the small camp, why not?
Just invading. Didn't need to use the retribution, so you can actually just go in, get a very, very safe invade, a bit more of a lead. And now it's just deja vu, right? I think for the most part, both SRG and RRQ find themselves in this situation in most of their games.
Komen guys, komen.
Leading at the
Menang
start,
mana nih?
then lose out
SRG
control.
atau
SRG are
RRQ?
always down in the early game, but somehow managed to gain control in the mid game.
A very templated approach by RRQ Hoshi. Patterns upon patterns you see. And I'm pretty sure Kez has drilled it into their minds. He brought out the blueprint, just laid it out and said, this is what you did last game, do it better. And what better start could you ask for? A turtle, a compromised orange, 3 kills on the mercenary. And now look at this Edok pushing back to
Santai dok, mundur dok.
Do it better doesn't even cut it anymore, you know? That was an M5 thing. You gotta do it greater in M6.
Than ever.
Than ever.
Game never over. I mean, that is just one game that they dropped the ball on. And again, the only real L is when you don't learn. And so far, I think the fact that they're pushing the tempo, speeding it up, putting Rins on a hero that can pick off easy targets, Innocent, Stormy. I'll tell you now, even Gais come to mid-game, he's gonna hurt.
Definitely. Does seem like right now, I mean, I'm paying attention into this gold lane matchup. It does seem like in this game, Edok is paying more attention to Skylar than they did in the previous one, right? Despite the fact that Granger was winning the matchup. I think now they're thinking, okay, we got a Bruno up against a Moskov. Even if we get to mid-game, late game together, if they scale up properly, Bruno should still have the edge.
That's right. So by sending Edok over there, they protect the early game, they secure the mid-game, and then the inevitable late game.
Yep.
Bruno is, I want to say infinitely scaling, but when you put it...
Basically.
It's almost there, especially if your opponent has to start juggling Winter Crowns, Wind of Natures, and maybe Innocent doesn't even walk away with, oh, Yums jumping in, thump through,
Mundur, santai.
Rins to skip him as well. Turtle here, now began the dance, there's a knock-up.
Meledak.
Vitalized Stormy will be taken out by Edok. Rins caught in the bad spot, Cram trying to go for the chase, but it will just be a pick on the Stormy, and then neutral objective for RRQ Hoshi.
It's a man down for the Giants as RRQ Hoshi go ahead to barrel away at the Turtle. 2,000 gold ahead. Turtle soup on the menu here for the King of Kings.
Dapat.
There you go. Another neutral objective without the retribution for Sutsujin. A clean
Diamankan
and
ya guys ya
simple
oleh
takeaway
Sutsujin.
fight. It's always about catching your opponents before the fight. And SRG, I think they're now finally understanding the pattern. Skylar, though, wants to continue to push up top against Innocent. He has to be careful. He has to purify. No, doesn't even need it. Dashes away from the spatial migration.
Slide tackle, so useful as a tool. Engaging, disengaging.
Okay.
Stormy spots one, Rins.
No.
Oh no, he gets
Dear.
caught.
Sandstorm Rin spots in a rough wave just in time. Cram looking for it. Goes in for top.
Ooh.
It's only onto the back. SOD connecting as well. That's Innocent with the pyramid.
Hampir, Rins.
Survive. Cram here, down to a fifth of his health.
Waduh, waduh,
In
waduh,
comes
waduh, waduh,
the EG. Stormy disengages.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane,
Santai,
Sutsujin
santai,
is having a
santai,
little bit
santai.
of a dance with Innocent and Skies. Innocent sent down below, and they will have to concede this turret, a structure, over to RRQ Hoshi in the 5th minute of the game. Skylar has just been so oppressive on this Bruno.
Basically, that's what this 3,000 gold lead buys for RRQ Hoshi. The fact that they can send one.
Ih,
Stormy
hampir
pushed
didorong.
back by Spear Misery.
Sama Skop.
See, this is the situation I'm talking about. The fact that you're
Set.
far ahead,
Wih.
Rins, popping, Innocent, full
Palanya
combo.
pecah, bos.
Rough waves.
Ngeri,
From
eh.
Rins.
Rins.
No purify. They baited it out earlier. Sutsujin trying to bait out that spatial migration again. Great read on the spatial migration. And now Diren's coming by.
Oh, no.
Yes, Violet Requiem. But the Breath of the Ocean
Dikeroyok.
connects. Time to pass. Won't be able to connect Yums. Can he get
Set.
out of the situation? Yes,
Pas
he
banget, eh.
can. Cold Yums. Staying composed.
Hey, if Rins had that combo, my Malaysian goat would have been cooked.
Is Yums your Malaysian goal?
Yes, he is.
I see.
Who else would be?
I don't know. Skies? Nah, I think Yums has been there longer. I agree.
The Sky Prince, though, we got to talk about his performance. 0-2 right now, 5-6 minutes in to game number 2. I think all the critics, all the pundits, all the analysts online are saying
Mundur,
this is
mundur,
not the
Rins.
same Sakai.
Idok,
They're looking to get
mundur,
one
Idok.
here. Oh, no, the knockup.
Aduh.
Requiem 2 and the AOG connects.
Dok.
Rins goes with the rock
Aduh,
waves. It'll be
Idok.
trade. Edok taken down. Now Cram's gonna be next.
Terlalu
On the
maju,
top.
Dok.
Ooh, a lot of turnaround damage. SRG are
Ooh.
looking to capitalize.
The king needs to go. Diren puts himself in the middle
blunder,
of the
Cok.
Monarch, and the rest of them down goes Innocent. The mercenary takes him down off cam.
It becomes a 2 for 2.
Sebenarnya
Skies
kena,
gets a double.
sama
They're
si-
on the neutral objective. Skylar
Sama
wants some
SRG.
smoke. Goes over to Cram. Slide tackle forward. Almost a
Hampir,
goal.
Cok.
Almost.
Can they get it?
So
Ih,
Sutsujin baiting
mau
it
dikejar,
down.
mau dikejar, boleh.
An assassination from the mercenary.
He had his mark and he found it.
GG.
Mage Prodigy could not go
Si
anywhere.
ganteng
He
kalem,
did
bos.
everything. And now Cram staying alive.
Barely. Just barely staying alive there. Uh-oh. Skies. He didn't use a retribution. He should still be able to contest this, but I don't know if he should. Edok's walking up, and Sutsujin will be the one to claim the purple buff. What's the term?
Grand Theft Purple, baby. He is guilty. 3,000 gold ahead. It's the same story as game number 1. SRG, if you ask me, I think this lineup right here, it might actually be built better to come back.
Yeah.
I actually like it. The chances of this lineup coming back compared to game 1 is better. But watching this game, 8 minutes in, RRQ Hoshi are going faster. So will they even find that window?
I think it's a great point you brought out. SRG, they have a better comeback composition. But I could say the same thing about RRQ. They have fixed on the errors that they had in game 1. They have a better snowball composition.
Yep.
If they get the lead that they got in game 1,
Which they're working to.
very, very close to getting, I would say, in this moment of the game, right? 8 minutes, we saw.
Santai, santai,
very
jangan terlalu maju,
similar
Dok.
amount of
Jangan terlalu maju,
gold.
Dok.
Petrify!
Uh.
Waves again, Innocent didn't even get the
Meledak.
And now Yums.
GG
push
anjir,
back.
Rins.
No
Kali
dice
combo, bos.
for SRG.
Yikes!
That's what we're talking about. The Rins played the Odette
Ngeri, eh?
Fire, and now that it's the Kadira, who by the way just picked up the concealed boots, AOG coming through.
Rins,
might get
Rins,
punished.
And he
Rins.
will ready set time!
Idok,
Stormy,
sikat.
backslashing him, and Skylar would just go with the balls with the house claws as well. Now Cram
Awas.
knocks it up.
And now,
Awas.
Innocent,
Aduh,
speed of destruction.
kena, eh.
Down goes the king.
Innocent in the midst of it all. Diamond going for slam. Innocent with a blink again. Diamond not able to get the immobility.
Joy.
Sutsujin walking up. Skylar
Tahu.
only onto Diamond. Electrifying beats as Innocent gets bounced up.
Uh.
Both going for the wrong or different target. In the bottom lane.
Anjir,
away from
dikit lagi, Cok.
Sutsujin.
Run,
Set.
Cypress, run! One more! The shutdown by the mercenary!
Oh, Dyron's got to be careful,
Ngeri.
though. He chased a bit far. Spatial migration from Yums, and Dyron just ini bencanas it up.
Oh my lord. The Lord spawns here, upper quarter. About 9 minutes and a half into game number 2. The fact that RRQ Hoshi are now finishing what they start and they find their marks. Another one for Rins!
Ih,
Stormy!
cakep
Goes,
banget.
let me finish my sentence!
Gila Rins!
Gila, Rins.
It's very deja vu to the previous Kadita gods.
He follows a lineage of amazing Indonesian talents, and now on behalf of the King of Kings, he's looking to right the wrongs of game number 1. Even the orange here, Sekais is struggling to secure.
The orange buff taken away, Sky's not able or didn't need to go for the retribution. And RRQ against Skyler, what is he looking out? He's looking at 3 items, almost 4, actually just 2 components too. So he's pulling enough to be a beast. That's a concentrated energy for Sutsujin. So wants a bit more sustain in these skirmishes. Knows SRG can actually still threaten him in a lot of these dives.
RRQ Hoshi knows that they're sharing the core role. There's 3 main damage dealers on their lineup, and that should lead to more than just an inhibitor shield pop in here. Oh no, Cram's in trouble.
Santai.
Defensively in the back.
Meledak.
Jumps into the rough waves and
Enggak
eventually
bisa,
connects
bisa,
on the
bisa,
Yums. Now the SOD to the back. Do they take it?
Gak bisa, bos, gak bisa, bos.
And Innocent
Santai,
Santai.
santai.
And they push
Santai,
back.
Darren. Aduh.
Team and SRG pushing back on RRQ as well. No
Innocent.
one goes except Dyron.
It's just Innocent, man. He's
Indo
on point.
Hindi kayak
Doesn't matter that you've
Natuto.
shot him
Iya,
down 3
anjir.
times, Leo. 2 and 3 now. He's building back.
Current net lead for his team at least. Number 3 overall. That's 7.8K on Innocent. Currently has
Menang tuh, yo.
Trinity, but just the
Menang tuh,
Trinity.
yo.
Halfway
Ayo, nak.
through
RRQ.
Rose Gold Dog. So that should
Prediksi,
help him
prediksi,
against
prediksi,
Jin.
prediksi.
Should help him against Rins. But the truth be told, that's just an extra layer of protection, because once Innocent finds a window, you've seen it happen at least once or twice in this 12-minute game, he will SOD into the thick of it.
Okay. Cram? Yeah. RRQ Hoshi actually don't want to go in on that. I'm going to take a look at the items. Actually, plate armor and the Thunderbelt, those are the only 2 items that Edok has right now. He's building towards what I assume to be an Athena shield up against this burst of SRG. But yeah, these targets are still very squishy, right? Because I think Edok has more ways to deal with the Moscow, but now we definitely know why Dyron's been taken down 3 times.
Yep.
It's because he just doesn't have enough physical defense yet.
He's on his way to a blade armor, so that should spell disaster for Innocent. Even Sekais has to watch out for it.
Ya sih, bener.
Soalnya
nyeri anjir itu. Moskovna kalau late game.
Posting up for this Lord spawning in the lower quarter. That's still about 5,000, 6,000 gold. Edok spots Cram, pushing him out of bush. I wonder if he knows. Not gonna fall for it. That bush set up by SRG.
Could have been a Kumar moment right there, Mr.
Massive.
Leo.
Could have joined that long list of Kumars building.
Started off
after
with the
year.
M5 World Championship Grand Finals.
Yeah. What is that currently? Like 6 or 7 dudes on that list.
I lost count, if I'm being honest with you, but Lord will be spawning back in the game. This is the 2nd Lord of the game, an enhanced Lord, 13 minutes in. And I don't know, do SRG want to contest? I think they have enough tools to actually deal with this Lord still, but do you want to play that gamble?
I mean, we've seen them come back from much worse, right? Game number 1 was a 9,000 gold lead. Here at just 5,000, and again, a more
Bisa
comebackable
dapat pot lah.
lineup. It should be fine. Look at this from afar. Stormy gets
Meledak.
full
Rins,
combo.
GG.
And now Dyron putting Yums here.
Gak dapat
into the
Lordnya.
grasp.
Oh, good flicker from Yums.
Darren, mundur, Darren.
The slam or the pass.
Santai, jangan tahu nafsu.
And it will just be the Lord for RRQ Hoshi. Man, Rins has been on point.
That last update on Kadira, the force swing, the backswing reduction time, making that combo all the more elusive. Cutting sentences, starting fight from out of nowhere. Stormy couldn't even flicker away. Look at that, 5 kills so far. 4 of those were off of Rins.
Yeah, and okay. I thought Stormy got tough boots for the tenacity, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Enhanced Lord of the mid lane will be able to break the base turret. Raging Sandstorm from Edok.
In the thick of it, now he fights one. Gais has fallen.
Ngeri.
Selangor looking for the clapback.
Innocent walking up. Sutsujin with the damage.
Uh.
Over now. Spatial migration from Yums.
Uh.
Able to connect Skyler.
Ih,
Last critical
anjir,
indeed.
lagi,
Innocent
Cok.
gets back to the base in time.
The conceal, allowing for faster movements, allowing for a re-engage. And
Nice.
Sutsujin blasting them all. Yums the last one left.
Triple kill.
Fatality out. And that's
Oh,
a
sama
wipeout.
Rins.
Kelar.
Gila Reigns.
Gila, Rins.
Equalizer from the Kings of Kings.
1-1 the score. We have a
Sama,
ball
bos.
game.
Masih ada harapan.
Hoshi with the equalization in game number 2, and just like that, I mean, we kind of knew it was. We all predicted it was gonna go all games.
Kadita banget. How? How did
Gelo.
SRG see this coming?
Ngeri, bos.
A couple of times in the Swiss, but now in the
Risma
knockout,
GG, anjir.
a breakout performance by Rins.
Meledak, pokoknya mah. Sekali combo meledak.
Panel for this.
I hope they talk about the Kadita plenty. Lafell, Wheezy, Trex, your turn.
Dude, that Kadita worked out. You guys ready for a long day? Because looks like we are.
Ntar ya
because
guys, mau mandi dulu guys, mau mandi dulu, mandi dulu guys.
Satu sama. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
Tunggu match ketiga guys.
1-1, baby. Satu sama.
Hey, nice. But yeah, that Kadita though, like, we're gonna look at the items because, yeah, Stormy didn't build the tough boots did he? Because there was no reaction against that Kadita.
It was a problem. I mean, the setups were insane, and definitely a good victory for RRQ Hoshi. Man, the pocket picks, though, that was an issue, even though they weren't able to pull off the victory, and now the Kadita was able to right the wrongs from game number 1. What
Okay.
a series.
So yeah, looking at the boots, it's demon boots so that Stormy can sustain in terms of the mana. But yeah, having no tough boots means you don't have the resilience, means that crowd control is 100% of the time. It's not canceled out. So that's part of the reason. The only one that really has tough boots is just Cram. Everyone else doesn't. So whoever gets caught by Rins is going to get deleted.
Yeah, and it would have been very helpful for Innocent as well for any moment, because I mean, just that little bit of time that you get from the delay or crowd control gets shortened helps so much from that, and I think it's a good point that you brought up. And you think that, I mean, I get it, early game Stormy just having the demon boots, but then about halfway in, at some point, maybe swap them out, maybe change it up. Once the crowd control is getting too much, because it's not even just Kadita, it's Edok as well, landing those big raging sandstorms. It's Dyren. It is the whole package of crowd control that RRQ brought.
And Sujin on this Joy, which has been such a major threat, spearheading the way with the KDA. Able to get to the back line when necessary. You see not too many junglers, even on the 1v1, can go toe-to-toe with the Joy, as we are looking at some of those emblems pop up as well. Temple Rain on the Joy, able to get multiple of those skills on a faster cooldown rate to be even more effective, and just a total domination for game number 2.
Yeah, and if you look at the timer, it's only 14 minutes, 40 seconds. So maybe this is the strat. Go up against SRG. Don't take too long.
Yeah, I think that's where they messed up in game number 1. There was a point where I think they had a clear route to victory, but they played the safe route. They were like, let's play smart, right? Let's play very disciplined. When I don't think the meta complements discipline right now for early snowball teams, right? We do see Rins pick up the pull yourself together to make sure that Petrify is just coming back quicker and quicker and quicker, and be able to pop it more often. Taking a look at the gold, though, I mean, everybody played their part on the side of RRQ.
Yeah, and again, SRG not really having a chance for that, because if we look at it, it's actually the turnaround, where in game number 1, Stormy was able to find Rins, and in game number 2, Rins found Stormy quite a few times, especially during that Lord fight, making it so that he doesn't really bring that big of an impact in the game, and we know that Joy is strong against the Suyo, and in this game, Susujin definitely shows, like, that's what happened when the Joy is under-leveled. Look what happens when Joy is over-leveled. There's not much that Sakai's can do.
Yeah, and then Rins, I mean, there were several times when he was picking off Innocent, just caught out of position, right? There's like 3 deaths in a row super early in the game. But the interesting thing, for a while on the Moskov, Innocent was still doing more damage despite being behind. But then the later the game goes, you start to see Skylar pop off.
Yeah, so at this point, SRG, I mean, it's definitely tough. We do have any guesses on MVP? Who do we think deserves it?
Oh, dude, honestly,
Rins.
if we if game number 1, the MVP went over to skies with that joy, I kind of feel like in this game number 2, Sutsujin might get it, because it's time to drop the beat of the flash with Sutsujin showing off that joy as well. And we see the 2 heroes being swapped around, both the joy as well as the Bruno, looking very strong in this matchup.
Yeah, super strong pickup. Not too many answers for it, and we're starting to see it prioed heavily in the first phase of the draft from majority of the teams as we scale up higher toward getting closer to Oxiata, and it's kind of raising the question, is it worth even allowing this to walk, or is it almost worth adding it to the ban table?
Oh, it's very worth letting it walk. I think SRG, the big mess up was picking up the Suyo.
Exactly, I
was
agree.
directly after, or first picking Suyo, because we've seen the Fred able to beat the Joy.
Agreed.
There's a very clear rock, paper, scissors happening between those 3 heroes right now, and I think that SRG just made the kind of they made the same mistake that RRQ did in game 1.
I agree.
You prioed Suyo before Joy was picked.
Yeah. Especially because they had a chance to pick up the Joy first, which has been a trend since yesterday, but today something switched up. They wanted to pick the CEO, but again, it is a best of 5. Part of the best of 5 is understanding your opponents. Where do their strength lies? Now they see the Joy, they see the Bruno, and they see the Kadita. We'll see how they adjust, but now we got to look at the highlights